Hello everyone. Today we will see one solve problem, that is determine which of the following properties listed, that is memoryless, time invariance, linearity, causal and stable. Okay, these are the property which are listed. The following discrete time system holds. Okay, so are hold and which do not hold for each of the following discrete time system. Okay, so these are the systems which are given. Y of n is equals to x of minus n. Y of n is equals to x of n minus 2 times x of n minus 8. Y of n is equals to n x of n. Y of n is equals to e1 of x of n minus 1. Then fifth one is your y of n is equals to x of n for n greater than equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n less than n is equals to 0, which is equals to x of n plus 1 for n less than or equals to minus 1. Similarly, the problem number 6 is there. Okay, so 6 tells that y of n is nothing but x of n for n is greater than or equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0, and y of n is equals to x of n for n less than or equals to minus 1. The seventh problem has been given, y of n is equals to x of 4n plus 1. Okay, so these are the problem statements has been given. What you have to do is, you have to identify which of this discrete time system holds the property and which does not hold the property. The properties are memoryless system, time invariant system, linearity system, causal system, and then stable system. And you have to justify your answer. Okay, so let us see one by one which property this discrete time system holds and which do not hold. Okay. Now consider the first system has been given y of n is equals to x of minus n. Consider the output. You have to consider the output and n is equals to minus 1. What is this output? Y of minus 1 is equals to x of 1. Y of minus 1 is equals to x of n. That means the output y of minus n at n is equals to minus 1 depends upon the future value. Depends upon the future value of input. This is nothing but the future value of input signal. Okay, therefore according to the definition of causality and the memoryless system, the system is not, this system y of n is equals to x of minus n is not causal. Okay, so not causal, and then we can have a remark that system is has memory because it requires a future value of input. So this is the system has, you can say, memory. The system has memory. Now you understood this. If you put n is equals to minus 1, we will get y of minus n is equals to x of 1. This means that basically depends upon the definition of causality and memory system. This system y of n is equals to x of minus n is not causal. Also it has a memory. Okay, and so it has a memory. Let us see another thing. Okay, remember this. This is not causal and it has a memory. Now, when we consider this system, this y of n is equals to x of n, we will check whether it is shift invariant or not. Okay, so we have to shift this n0 in the output. We will shift the system by n0 with the output. Okay, so y of n becomes y of n minus n0. This is what the shifting, or you can say a delay of by n0. Okay, which is nothing but x of n minus n0. Input is also shifted. Okay, x of n. Okay, yes, x of minus n minus n0. Remember it. X of n minus n0. Whatever the term n is there, you have to shift or you have to delay that n by. You have to write n by n minus n0. Okay, n by n minus n0. So x of n minus n is there. So x of minus and then this term n minus n0 is there. So which is nothing but x of, what is that? Minus n plus n0. Minus n plus n0. So now if the input is shifted to n0, now let us shift the input. let us shift the input. If the input is shifted by n0, by n0 factor, okay, n0, then we can pass it to the system. So x of n minus n0, what is that? X of n minus n0, it becomes your y of n, okay, and which is equals to x of minus n0, x of minus n by n0. This is why here you have x of minus n, okay, x of minus n, and if you shift this by n0, so it will be x of minus n minus n0. Okay, so from this equation you can see that when you shift the input by n0 factor, you will get x of minus n minus n0. When we shift when we shift your output by the n0, okay, so you will get x of minus n plus n0. So from the above equation, it is clear that a shift of n0 into the input, I will write it here, a shift of n0, in the output, doesn't have a corresponding shift in the input, doesn't have corresponding shift in the input, okay, doesn't have corresponding shift in the input. That means if this is not equals to this, so both the equations are different. This implies that the shifting in the system is time variant. This implies that the system is time variant. Okay, so for this particular system, we have checked that this system is non-causal. The system is not causal. The system has a memory. And then third is the system is time variant. Okay, now let us go for the next property. That is your linearity property. That is our linearity property. Let us consider the superposition principle, okay, which will verify the linearity of the system. That means y1 of n is nothing but x1 of minus n, okay. So this y of n is equals to x of minus n has been given. We have to apply superposition principle. That's why we have divided this input as we are considered as a two inputs, x1n and x2 of n, or you can say y1 of n and y2 of n. So y1 of n is nothing but x1 of minus n, and y2 of n is equals to x2 of minus n. Fine. Now let us consider the third input, that is nothing but x3 of n. This is what your x3 of n, which is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2. That means x3 of n is equals to a times, or you can say a1 x1n plus a2 x2 n. This is nothing but the x3n is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2. Okay, this a1 and a2 are arbitrary constant. Okay, so now therefore we can say that the output y3 of n, okay, so y3 of n is equals to x3 of minus n. Basically based on this, y3 of n is nothing but x3 of minus n. But what is y3 of n? Y3 of n is equals to a1 x1 of minus n plus a2 x2 of minus n. a1 x1 of minus 1 plus a2 x2 of minus 1, which is nothing but a1, this is your y1 of n, this term, plus A2 Y2 of n. A1 Y1 of n and A2 Y2 of A2 Y2 of n. From the above expression, it is clear that the system satisfies both the homogeneity, okay, both the homogeneity and you can say additivity property. Therefore, you can say that the system is linear. This implies that the system is linear. This implies that the system is linear. The first one is the system is linear system. Fine. Now what is left? That is stability. Okay. So we have to check whether the system is BIBO stable or not. The system is BIBO stable or not. Okay. So to find out whether the system is BIBO stable, let us consider x of n. We can say that this x of n. Okay. This x of n is bounded. X of n is bounded for all the n's. For all n. For all n, your x of n is bounded. So what does this mean, that? This means that y of n. What does this mean? Y of n is equals to x of minus n. Okay. So y of n is equals to x of minus n. Okay. But what is x of minus n? If x of n is bounded, okay, x of n is bounded, what is this y of n? Y of n is also bounded. Y of n is also bounded. So as x of n, we can say that this your magnitude of x of n is bounded. Okay, and you can say that this is x of n which is bounded. This implies that your x of minus n, or you can say this is what your time reversal, or you can say a folding operation, which is also bounded. Okay, bounded means less than infinity, or you can say that this is nothing but what we have taken is mx, which is nothing but a bounded. Okay, so when we talked about that x of n, okay, is bounded, this implies that the time reversal, or you can say a folded x of n, is also bounded, and this implies that the system is stable. This implies that the system is stable. Understood? So stable. So y of n is equals to x of minus n is your not causal system. This system has a memory. This is time variant system. This is linear system, and this system is stable. So you can see that this property, linearity and stability property, this system has followed. So if y of n is equals to x of minus n, this property holds, and this three property does not hold. Does not hold. Let us go for the second example. So the second example is y of n is equals to x of n minus 2, x of n minus 2 minus 2 times x of n minus 8. X of n minus 8. Now consider the output at n is equals to n1. So we'll get y of n1, which is nothing but the n at output at n is equals to n1. So y of n1 is equals to x of n1 minus 2 times x of n1 minus 8. We can see that this input, okay, so the output y of n at n is equals to n1 is equals to y of n1 is equals to x of n1 minus 2 times x of n1 minus 8 depends upon the past values of input. Therefore, according to the definition of causality and memoryless system, this particular system is causal and it has a memory. So this particular system is causal and has memory, or you can say that system is dynamic system. Okay, so first I will write it here. This system is causal system because its output depends upon the present and past input. Here only past input had been given. So basic definition of causality, that system depends upon, that output depends upon the present and past input. Then we are calling that system as causal system. Okay, and for the system which is output depends upon the present values of input, so we are calling the system as memoryless system or dynamic or static system. So in this case, the system output depends upon the past input. So we are calling this system as a causal system. Output depends upon output depends upon the past system. So we are calling it as the system which is having a memory. Okay, or we can say it is dynamic system. So this is causal system, and then I will write it as a memory, or you can say a dynamic system. Fine. Let us go for the third, or you can say a third property. That is, we will consider that is a shift invariance property. We will check it for the shift invariance. So, in order to check the shift invariance property, first we have to shift the output. Okay, by the factor, or you can say we have to shift the output by n0, or you can say we have to delay the output by n0, and then we have to find out the equation. Then we have to shift the output input by n0, or you can say delay input by n0. Then we have to find out the value of yn, and then we have to compare, and then if the both are same, then we are calling it as the system is time invariant. If both are not same, then we are calling it as the system is variant. Okay, so let us check one by one. First we will shift the output. So shift output by n0. Shift output by n0. So we will get y of n minus n0. Okay, here in output we have shifted, that's why y of n minus n0 will come, and which is nothing but x of n minus n0 minus 2, n minus n0 minus 2 minus 2 times x of n minus n0 minus 8. Okay, now the second time we have to shift the input. If the input is shifted now, okay, so shift the input. So if the input is shifted, then what will be the output? The output is your yn. Okay, yn. We have used another nomenclature, that is y of n comma n0. You can use like this way. Okay, so this is up to you which nomenclature or which uh, the the fundamental terms you have to use. So you can use y of n, you can use y of n minus comma n0. Okay, okay. So y of n is equals to, you can say, x of n minus n0. Here I am shifting the output or delaying the output by n0. Okay, so that is equals to, so when we delay the when we delay or shift the input, okay, shift the input. So what will be the its value? Its value is x of n minus n0 minus 2, okay, minus 2 times x of n minus n0 minus 8. Okay, when we look at these two equations, it is very clear that when we shift of n0 at the input or at the output has a corresponding shift at the input, you can say. So which simplifies or which implies that this particular system is time invariant system. Time invariant system. Okay, so you understood. So we can go for now next property, that is our linearity property. So to check whether the system is linear or non-linear, if the system follows the superposition principle, or you can say if the system follows the homogeneity and additivity property, then we are calling that system as linear system. Okay, so to get the or to apply this particular system to linearity, let us consider the system. Okay, so y1 of n is nothing but your x1 of n. Okay, y1 of n is nothing but your x1 of n. So we will write it in terms of x1. Okay, so what is that? So x1 of n minus 2 times x1 of n minus 8. Similarly, we will write this as in terms of x2. So second input. Okay, so it is nothing but x2 of n minus 2 times x2 of n minus 8. Right? So x1 and x2. So y1 is equals to x1 and minus 2 times x1 and minus 8. y2 is equals to x2 and minus 2 times x2 and minus 8. Now let us consider the third input, which is nothing but x3 of n. Okay, x3 of n, and what is x3 of n? x3 of n is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2. Okay, so which is nothing but a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of n. This is what the linear combination of x1 and x2 of n. Therefore, the output y3 of n is given as, so y3 of n. So what is y3 of n? y3 of n is nothing but x3 of n minus 2 times x3 of n minus 8. x3 of n minus 2 times x3 of n minus 8. Fine. So what is x3 of n minus 2? Okay, so we will write it as x3 of n minus 2 in terms of this. So which is nothing but a1. Okay, a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of n. So a1 x1 of n minus 2 plus a2 x1 of x2 of n minus 2. We have written this x3 of n is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2. So a1 x1 n minus 2 plus a2 x2 n minus 2 minus 2 times x3 of n. We have to write x3 of n in terms of linear combination of 2. So minus 2 times a1 x1 of n minus 8 plus a2 x2 of n minus 8. Okay, now if you simplify this terms, so you will get the same term as it is first term, a1 x1 of n minus h2 plus, okay, so plus instead of this term and this two term. Okay, so I will make sure that this should be a1 x1. So a1 is taken as common. Okay, a1 has taken as common from these two terms. So a1 x1 of n minus 2, x1 of minus 8. So minus 2 times x1 of n minus 8. Okay, I will write it in the just lower to this. Okay, so which is nothing but a1 I have taken as a common, and then whatever the remaining term x1 of n minus 2 times x1 of n minus 8. Fine. From these two terms, and from these two terms, okay, and from these two terms, this is my first term and this is my second term. So from these two terms I can say that plus a2 of x2 of n minus 2, x2 of n minus 2, okay, minus 2 x2 of n minus 8. Okay, x2 of n minus 8. Now what is this actually? Basically this is nothing but a1 y1 of n plus a2 y2 of n, a1 y1 of n plus a2 y2 of n. This is y1 n, this is y2 n. Okay, so from this expression we can say that this particular system satisfies both additivity property and homogeneity property. Okay, so we are saying this particular system is linear system because it follows the additivity and homogeneity, or you can say it follows the superposition principle. Okay, so this system is linear. So I am writing this system as linear system. Okay, now what is remaining? Remaining is nothing but your stability property. Remaining is your stability property. So in order to check whether the system is stable or not, we have to if the system produce bounded output for bounded input, or you can say if bounded input is given, it should produce a bounded output. Then we are calling the system as BIBO stable, or you can say a stable system. For that purpose, let us consider x of n, or you can say your mod of x of n is bounded, or you can say it is in less than infinity for all n values, for all n values. Then what happens if x of n is bounded? Then what happens? Your y of n is equals to mod of x of n minus 2 minus 2 times x of n minus 8. Fine. So we know that mod of a minus b. We know that mod of a minus b, which is nothing but mod of a minus mod of b. Mod of a minus b, which is nothing but less than or equals to mod of a minus mod of b. Or you can see that we can rewrite this equation as mod of x of n minus 2 minus 2 mod of x of n minus 8. Okay, and this we can write it as less than or equals to. So y of n is less than or equals to x of n minus 2 times x of n minus 8. Okay, and which is nothing but, or which we can say that it is less than infinity. Why infinity? Because we already told that x of n is less than infinity, or you can say that x of n is bounded. Okay, so if x of n is bounded, all this x of n minus 2 and x of n minus 8 are also bounded. This means our output y of n, okay, is also bounded. This implies that the system is stable. This implies that the system is stable. Okay, the system is stable. So I will write it here. The system is stable. So we'll take third now. Y of n is equals to n times x of n. Y of n is equals to n times x of n. Now we have to consider output at n is equals to n1. So y of n1, which is nothing but output at n is equals to n1. Y of n1 is nothing but n1 times x of n1 times the x of n1. Okay, so you can see that the output y of n1 is depends upon the present value, that is x of n1 depends upon the present value. So by the definition of causality and memoryless system, this particular system is a causal system. This particular system is causal system. Also this particular system is memoryless system. This particular system is memoryless and causal system. This particular system is memoryless and causal system. Right? So now check the shift invariance property. So to check shift invariance property, we have to shift the output by n0, and then we have to shift the input by n0, and then we have to check the output. Okay, and if both are same, then we can say that system is time invariant system, otherwise the system is time variant system. So let us go by one. So we will check, or we can say we will shift the output. We will shift the output. Okay, so output will be shifted. So I will write it as y of n minus n0. Y of n minus n0 is equals to whatever n are there, they will be shifted. So n minus n0 at x of n minus n0. Fine. Now if the input is shifted, if the input is shifted by n0, if the input is shifted, that means x of n minus n0, which is nothing but y of n. Okay, so in sometimes I may have written this is as y of n comma n0. Okay, so both nomenclature are same. So y of n or y of n comma n0, which is nothing but, okay, which is nothing but n times x of n minus n0, which is nothing but x of n minus n0. Okay, because input is only shifted, so x of n minus n0 will be shifted. Here the n will be remain the same. So when you look at these two equations, okay, we can say that both equations are not same. Okay, or we can say that a shift of n0 at the output doesn't correspond to the shift at input, which implies that this system is time variant. This system is time variant. Fine. Time variant. The system is time variant. The next property is our linearity property. So to check this linearity property, we have to check whether the system follows the superposition theorem or not, or whether the system follows the additivity and homogeneity property. Okay. So to know about the homogeneity or additivity property, we have to describe this input as two inputs. Okay, that is x1 and x2. Okay, so we will define first the output, that is y1 of n, which is nothing but n times x1 of n, y2 of n, which is equals to n times x2 of n. Okay, now let us consider the third input, that is your x3 of n, x3 of n, which is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2, which is equals to a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of n, a1 x1 of n and plus a2 x2 of n. Therefore, output you can say y3 of n. What is y3 of n? Y3 of n is nothing but n times x3 of n, n times x3 of n, which is nothing but a1. What is now your x3 of n? x3 of n is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2. Okay, so a1 times n times x1 plus a2 times n times x2. Fine. And a1 n times x1 of n plus a2 n times x2 of n. What is n1 x1? n1 x1 is nothing but y1, which is nothing but a1 y1 of n plus a2. What is this n? x2 of n. This is nothing but y2 of n. This implies that the system follows the additivity property as well as the homogeneity property. Okay, so it follows the superposition principle. So the system is linear. So the system is linear system. Fine. Now you know that now we have checked for linearity. So the system is linear. Now we will check for the stability of the system. So how do we define the stability of the system? If we provide a bounded input and which gives us a bounded output. So we are calling the system as BIBO stable system, or bounded input, bounded output input. If we provide bounded input to the system, we must get a bounded output. Okay, so for that purpose, let us consider x of n. Let us consider this x of n is bounded. X of n is bounded for all n. Let us consider this x of n is bounded for all n. Fine. So what is y of n? What is y of n? Y of n is nothing but modulus of n times x of n. I have written it as it is. Fine. So what you know that modulus of a into b, which is less than or equals to modulus of a into modulus of b. Fine. So what is mod of y of n now? So mod of n is less than or equals to mod of n multiplied by mod of x of n. Fine. So now comes to that. So we considered mod of x of n, which is less than infinity, or we can say it's bounded. So if x of n is bounded, okay, the magnitude of output, if x of n is bounded, so the magnitude of output may be bounded, but here the variable n comes. Okay, this variable n comes. So output depends upon this n, which states that if n goes to infinity, y of n is also tends to infinity. Fine. So we are telling this that, so this tells us that system is not stable. So this tells us that this particular system is not stable. Understood? Let us see the fourth example. So fourth example is your y of n. Y of n is equals to even of x of n minus 1. Y of n is nothing but even of x of n minus 1. Which way, how do we write even function? So any function which is even function, how do we write even of n? So even of x of n, how do we write even of x of n? We have written as x of n plus x of minus n divided by 2. X of n plus x of minus n divided by 2. So how do we write this as x of n minus 1 plus x of n minus 1. Fine. X of n minus 1 plus x of n minus 1. So whatever n is there, we have to write it as minus n. And then we have to divide it by 2. So you can simplify this or you can keep it as it is. Okay. So you understood? So x of n minus x of minus n, okay, plus x of minus n divided by 2. This is what the even function, definition of even function. Fine. So put n is equals to n minus 1 here. Okay. So what I have write is x of n minus 1 plus x of minus, what is n minus 1 divided by 2. Okay. If you want to simplify, you can simplify it as x of n minus 1 plus x of minus n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, this is what I have written here. Same thing. Okay. Fine. So now we have to check the system properties. So to check whether the system is memoryless system or whether the system is causal system, we have to consider the output at n is equals to 0. So put n is equals to 0. So n is equals to 0. What is y of n? What is y of n? Y of n is nothing but y of 0. Put n is equals to 0 here. So y of 0 is equals to x of, put n is equals to 0 here, x of minus 1 plus x of, put n is equals to 0 here. So minus minus becomes plus, x of plus 1 divided by 2. What is this value? X of minus 1. This is past value. What is x of plus 1? This is future value. Okay. So the output at n is equals to 0 depends upon the past and future values of x of n, that is input values. Okay. So according to the definition of causality and memoryless system, okay, so this system is, what is that? It is not causal. Okay. Also the system has a memory. Okay, the system is not causal or the system has a memory, or you can say this is a dynamic system. This is a dynamic system. Now let us consider the next property, that is shift invariance property. So in order to find out the shift invariance, okay, what is the definition of shift invariance, or you can say time invariance property? If the shift at output, if the shift at output gives a shift at input, or you can say a shift at input gives us the shift at output, then we are telling that the system is time invariant system. Okay, so go, let us shift the output first. Shift the output, okay, by n0, shift the output by n0. So we will have y of n minus n0. Okay, here n minus n0 means shifted, okay, or you can say delayed. Okay, so y of n minus n0. If you shift this, what we will get? X of n minus n0 minus 1 plus x of, now minus n plus 1 is there. Okay, x of, now this is x of minus n minus of n minus 1 is there. So I will write, okay, I will write it as it is. So x of minus of n minus n0, okay, n minus n0 minus 1, x of n minus n0 minus 1, n minus n0 minus 1, right, divided by 2. Now simplify this. What is this value? X of n minus n0 minus 1. Okay, x of n minus n0 minus 1 plus x of, what is this? Minus n plus n0 minus 1. Minus n plus n0 minus 1 divided by 2. Divided by 2. Now in the second time, okay, this is, we have shifted the output. Now we will shift the input. Okay, shift the input by n0. If we shift the input by n0, we will write it as n minus n0. Okay, and which is nothing but y of n. You may write it as y of n comma n0. Okay, this is different from this. This is y of n minus n0. This is y of n comma n0. Okay, comma meaning we are just shifting the input. Okay, so y of n, or you can rewrite it y of n. Okay, so any nomenclature you can use, which is nothing but x of n minus n0 minus 1, x of n minus n0 minus 1 plus x of n minus n0, x of, this is your minus 1 minus n minus n0 minus 1 divided by 2. X of n minus n0 minus 1 plus x of minus n0 minus 1. Okay, from these two equations, we can clearly see that the both equations are not same, or you can say shift of n0 at the output does not corresponds to the shift of n0 at the input. That's why we are saying this, that the shift, this is time variant. This is time variant. Fine. So for this particular system, what we have identified, for this particular system, we have identified that system is not causal. Okay, not causal. The system has memory. Okay, and then also we have identified that system is time variant. Time variant. Fine. So now we have to check the next property, that is, we can say the linearity property. So to check the linearity property, this particular system must follow the superposition principle, or you can say it must follow the homogeneity and additivity property. Okay, so first we will consider this system as y1 of n, which is nothing but x1 of n minus 1 plus x1 of minus of n minus 1 divided by 2. This is by y1 of n. Now what is y2 of n? x2 of n minus 1 plus x2 of minus of n minus 1, fine, divided by 2. I have just written in terms of x1 and x2. Okay, now I will, if I take x3 as input, another input, which is nothing but the linear combination of x1 n and x2 of n. So how do I write? I will write it as a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of n. So x3 of n is nothing but the linear combination of x1 of n plus x2 of n. Therefore, what will be the output? So y3 of n, what is y3 of n? Y3 of n is nothing but x3 of n minus 1, x3 of n minus 1 plus x3 of minus n plus 1. Okay, x3 of minus n plus 1 divided by 2. x3 of n minus 1 plus x3 of minus n plus 1. Fine. So divided by 2. So finally we have to write y3 of n. So y3 of n, what is x3 of n? x3 of n is nothing but a linear combination of a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 n. Fine. So we have to write x3 of n here in this case now. So what is x3 of n? Which is nothing but, okay, which is nothing but a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 of n. So a1 x3 x1 of n minus 1 plus a2 x1 a2 x2 x2 of n minus x2 of n minus 1. So x3 of n I have written in terms of x1 and x2. a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 n divided by 2. Okay, divided by 2. So otherwise I will divide it by whole. Okay, then this we have to write it in terms of this x3 of minus n plus 1 in terms of a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 n. So a1 times x3 of a1 times x1 of minus n plus 1 plus a2 times x2 of minus n plus 1. Okay, and this whole divided by 2, and this whole divided by 2. Now if you look at this, if you take an a1 as a common, okay, if you take an a1 as a common from these two equations, so now I will remove some part. Okay, I will remove this part and then I will write it on the on this. Okay, I will remove this. This is my y3 of n. Okay, so I'm writing now y3 of n. You have to take it common. Okay, so that I will take. So a1 times, okay, 1 by 2 I will take it as common, then a1 times x1 of n minus 1, a1 of n minus 1 plus x1 of minus n plus 1. Okay, this is 1 plus 1 by 2 a2. Now from these two equations, this is a2 term and this is also a2 term. So I have taken a2 and 1 by 2 as a common. So x1 of x2 times n minus 1 plus x2 of minus n plus 1, x2 of minus n plus 1. And what is this total term? This term is nothing but your 1 by 2 a1 x1 of n minus 1 plus, see here, what is y1? x1 of n minus 1, x1 of minus n plus 1. Okay, so this total term represents your y1 of n, or you can say a1 y1 n plus this total term represents your y2 of n, a2 y2 of n, a1 y1 n plus a2 y2 n. So this implies that the system follows the additivity property, also the homogeneity, or you can say scaling property. So this implies that it follows the superposition principle. That's why we are calling this system as linear system. So fourth property we have identified for this particular property, that the system is linear. So the fifth property for this particular system is the stability property. Okay, so we have to check whether the system is stable or not. So to check the stability, if we give the system as stable input, we must get the stable output. Okay, so then we are calling that system as a stable system. Fine. So let us consider the input is stable, that is magnitude of mod of x of n is less than infinity. Let us consider that this is stable for all n. Now what is the output? Mod of y of n. Y of n is nothing but, which is equals to this, x of n minus 1. So mod of x of n minus 1 plus x of minus n minus, okay, x of minus n minus of n minus 1, fine, divided by 2, divided by 2. Now we know that mod of a plus b is less than or equals to mod of a plus mod of b. Mod of a plus b is less than or equals to mod of a plus b. What this implies? This implies that mod of y of n, this 1 by 2 I have taken is common, so less than or equals to 1 by 2, less than or equals to 1 by 2 mod of x of n minus 1 plus mod of x of minus of n minus 1, right, and which is equals to less than, which is equals to less than infinity, or you can say as our input is bounded, x of n is bounded less than infinity, so x of n minus 1 is also less than infinity, and x of minus of n minus 1 is also less than infinity, so y of n is also less than infinity. So as x of n is bounded, the shifted and scaled of x of n, this is my shifted, okay, this is shifted, and 1 by 2 is multiplied, or you can say shifted and scaled version of x of n is also less than infinity. This says that the system is stable. This states that the system is stable. Now let us consider the fifth problem. Consider the problem number 5. So y of n has been given. Okay, so it has been given for some values which is n is greater than 1, n is equals to 0, and n is less than or equals to minus 1. So which is equals to y of n is equals to x of n. Y of n is equals to x of n for n is greater than or equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0, and which is equals to n plus 1, x of n plus 1 for n is less than or equals to minus 1. So this y of n depends upon these three conditions. Fine. Now we have to check the which this system particularly holds which property. So first we will check for causality and memoryless property. By looking at the system also you can identify, but now we will consider the output, that is if you put n is equals to 1 to this. When you put n is equals to 1, this implies, so n is equals to 1. So this particular system n is greater than or equals to n. So y of 1 is equals to x of 1. Y of 1 is equals to x of 1. Also consider at n is equals to 2. N is equals to, let us take minus 2. N is equals to minus 2. So what you will get? Y of minus 2, which is nothing but x of. Now y of minus 2 means this term. So x of n plus 1. So minus 2 plus 1, which is nothing but x of minus 1. So the output y1, the output y1 at n is equals to 1 depends upon, this is your present value, so depends upon the present value. But the output at n is equals to minus 2, that is y of minus 2, depends upon the future value. This depends upon the present value, this depends upon the future value. Therefore, according to the definition of causality, when we are saying that system is causal, if its output depends upon the present and past input values only. Okay, but in this case it depends upon the future input values, so the system is non-causal. So the system is non-causal. Fine. What about static or dynamic? Because it is your this is your present, but this is past. So for past it requires memory to store the data. So that system is dynamic system, or we can say that system has a memory. The system has a memory, or you can say a dynamic system. Fine. Now you understood. Now we can go for the next property, that is your shift invariance property. So I will write it here for this particular system. I will write that system as not causal. the system is not causal. Also, the system has a memory. Has a memory. Let us go for the shift invariance property. So how do we go for shift invariance property? We have to shift the output by n0, then shift the input by n0, and then we have to compare. So consider the shift of, I will write it here. Okay, so shift at output by n0. If we shift the output by n0, what will happen? So which is equals to y of n minus n0, which is equals to, now put n is equals to n0, n minus n0. What is that? X of n minus n0 for what? N minus n0, for n minus n0, for n minus n0 greater than or equals to 1. Fine. So I will make it smaller because we have to keep shifted by input also. So again it is equals to 0 for n minus n0 is equals to 0. Fine. And which is equals to x of n minus n0 plus 1 for n minus n0 less than or equals to minus 1. So wherever n is there, we have to shift by n0. We have to delay this by n0. Okay. So now this is, we have shifted as our output. Fine. You can rewrite this in terms of another way. Okay. So n minus n0 greater than or equals to 1. N minus n0 greater than or equals to 1. How do we write it as n must be, okay, or we can rewrite as n must be greater than or equals to n0 plus 1. N0 plus 1. N must be greater than or equals to n0 plus 1. Right? For what about this? This we can rewrite as n is equals to n0. What about this? This is, we can written as n must be less than or equals to n0 minus 1. This limits n0 minus 1. This is all about the shifting the output by n0. So y of n minus n0, we have calculated x of n minus n0 when n greater than or equals to n0 plus 1, which is equals to 0 when n is equals to n0, and which is equals to x of n minus n0 plus 1 when n is less than or equals to n0 minus 1. Now if the output is shifted, if the input is shifted, we have already shifted output. So if the input is shifted by n0, if the input is shifted by n0, we can rewrite it as x of n minus n0, okay, which is nothing but your y of n, which is nothing but y of n, or you can say y of n comma n0. You can rewrite it as y of n comma n0, or anything you can write, okay, and which is equals to, okay. So what is the first value? First value is x of n. So we can shift it by n0. So input is shifted, x of n minus n0. Input is shifted, but this limit is as this. So n is greater than or equals to 1. Fine. Now this is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0, and which is equals to x of n minus n0 plus 1 for n is less than or equals to minus 1. From these two equations, this is one equation, this is two equation. Okay, it is very clear that when we shift output by n0, it doesn't correspond to a shift at the input, which implies that the system is time variant. This implies that the system is time variant. Okay. So third property we have solved, time variant. Now let us go for the next property. To apply the linearity principle, okay, so we must set this system must satisfy the superposition principle, that is your additivity and homogeneity principle. Okay, so let us consider this as y1 of n is equals to y1 of n is nothing but x of n, x1 of n. Fine, n is greater than or equals to 1, which is equals to 0, n is equals to 0, which is equals to x of n plus 1 for n less than or equals to minus 1. This is your y1 of n. Okay, I will rewrite it here this way. So y1 of n is equals to x1 of n comma n is greater than or equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0, which is equals to x of n plus 1 for n less than or equals to minus 1. Okay, so another way, y2 of n is equals to your x2 of n greater than or equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0 and it is equals to x of n plus 1 for n less than or equals to minus 1. Okay, so x1 and x2 we have written, okay, y1 and y2. Now let us consider the third input, that is x3 of n, which is nothing but the linear combination of x1 and x2. So a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 of n. So x3 of n is nothing but the linear combination of a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 n. So therefore, what is y3? What is y3? y3 of n. y3 of n is nothing but, I will rewrite it here. y3 of n is nothing but x3 of n, x3 of n, which is n is less than greater, n is greater than or equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0 and which is equals to x of n plus 1 for n less than or equals to minus 1. This is y3 of n, the definition I have written for y3 of n. Now, now the same, now the same y3 of n, this y3 of n can be written in terms of a1 x1 n plus a2 f x2 of n. So how do I write this y3 of n? So again I will write it here. y3 of n is equals to a1 x1 of n, a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of n, a1 x1 of n plus x2, a2 x2 of n, and for the same limit n is greater than or equals to 1 and it is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0 and it is equals to x of n plus 1. That means a1 x of x1 of n plus 1 plus a2 x2 of n plus 1 for n is less than or equals to minus 1. For n is less than or equals to minus 1 and which is equals to, which is nothing but your a1 y1 n. See, a1, this is your y1 of n plus a2 y2 of n. This is nothing but your a1 y1 n plus a2 y2 of n. So from this expression we can say that the system follows the additivity as well as linearity as well as homogeneity property, so that it follows the superposition principle. That's why the system is linear system. This is my linear system. Linear system. Now next one is your stability property. So is to order, you can write this, we can go for stability property now. So the system is said to be stable if bounded input produces the bounded output. Okay, if the bounded input produces the bounded output, then we are call the system as a stable system, or you can say BIBO stable system. So let us consider that. Let us consider mod of x of n is bounded. Mod of x of n is bounded, or you can say it is less than infinity for all the values of n. For all n, then what is y of n? Mod of y of n is nothing but, mod of y of n is nothing but mod of x of n for n for n less than n greater than or equals to minus 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0, fine, and which is equals to mod of x of n plus 1, fine, for n is less than or equals to minus 1. So when we consider x of n is bounded, or you can say less than infinity, so this term is also less than infinity. Okay, this x of n plus 1, that is your shifted sequence or shifted input sequence, is also bounded. This implies that your y of n is also less than infinity. This also less than infinity, y of n less than infinity. So, or you can say that magnitude of the output doesn't depend upon any variables. Here any variable is not there, only the this is the original sequence. Okay, or you can say x of n is there, this is the just the shifted x of n is there, there is no any other variable is there. So we can say that the system is stable. So system is stable. The system is stable. So I will write it here, the system is stable. Let us consider the problem number 6. So y of n, which is a very similar problem which we have taken earlier. So y of n is equals to x of n for n is greater than equals to 1, which is equals to 0 for n is equals to 0, which is again n is x of same x of n, which is equals to n is less than or equals to minus 1. In the earlier problem, this term is was x of n plus 1 for n is less than or equals to minus 1. This was the only difference. Rest of the problem is similar, or we can say that. Okay. So first we have to check whether the system is causal or not. Let us put n is equals to 1. Let us put n is equals to 1 in the system. So we will get y of 1 is equals to x of 1. Y of 1 is equals to x of 1. Now put n is equals to minus 1. Let us go for negative side. N is equals to minus 1. So y of minus 1 is equals to x of minus 1. Okay. So we can say that the output depends upon the present values of input. The output depends upon the present values of input. So minus 1, we will get minus 1 of y of 1, which is equals to x of 1. So output depends upon the present values of input. So the definition of causality and causality tells that if the output depends upon the present and past values, then we are calling the system as a stable value. So in this case, the output depends upon the present values. So we are telling this system as a causal system. Causal system. Okay. Also, if it depends upon the present inputs, then we are calling this system as a memoryless, or you can say a static system. Memoryless or static system. And about the linearity, this is in the earlier example we have saw the same system is there. So the system was a linear system. So the same, this is also a linear system. Okay. This is also time variant system. Okay, this is a time variant system. This is linear system, this is time variant system, also this is stable system. If you want to see the proofs of this linearity, time variant and stability principle, you can go for the previous example, that is example number 5. Here I have solved it. Okay, some only one change is there and all the systems are similar. Okay, so these properties will be the same for this particular system. Okay, you can go and you can cross check. Okay, if any doubt is there, you can ask me. Right? So we will proceed further for the next problem now. So problem number 7, y of n, y of n is nothing but x of 4n plus 1. Y of n is nothing but x of 4n plus 1. Now we have to check whether the system is causal or not, or whether it has memory or it is a memoryless system. So consider the output at n is equals to 0. So put n is equals to 0. So we will get y of 0. What is y of 0? Put n is equals to 0 here. So x of n, x of 1. Y of 0 is nothing but x of 1. So according to the definition of causality and memoryless system, this particular system, because its output depends upon the future values. Okay, its output depends upon the future values. So this is not causal. Not causal. Also this is it has a memory. It has a memory, or you can say it is a dynamic system. It is a dynamic system. So I will write it here. So this is not static system. Sorry, this is not a causal system. And this is system has memory or dynamic. Dynamic. Let's go for the third property. So third property is your shift invariance or variance property. Okay. Shift variance or invariance property. So to solve this for time variance or invariance property, let us shift this output by N0. Shift output by N0. Shift output by N0. So y of n minus N0 will be that. Y of n minus N0, which is equals to x times 4 n minus N0 plus 1. 4 times n minus N0 plus 1. This is equals to x of 4n minus 4 n0 plus 1. Now let us shift the input. Let us shift the input. So that is nothing but x of n minus n0 we are shifting, which is equals to y of n. Okay, you can rewrite it as y of n comma n0. Okay, so y of n, which is equals to, so shift the input. So x of 4n minus n0 plus 1. 4n minus n0 plus 1. From these two equations, we can clearly state that this system is time variant. This system is time variant. Why? Because shift at the output does not correspond to the shift at the input. Okay, or you can say shift at the input does not correspond to the shift at the output. That's why the system is time variant. Time variant. Now next property is your linearity property. So to check whether the system is linear or not, we have to apply the superposition principle. Okay. So let us consider that y1 of n is equals to x1 of 4n plus 1. y2 of n is equals to x2 of 4n plus 1. y1 and y2. Fine. Now let us consider the third input, that is x3 of n. x3 of n, which is nothing but the linear combination of a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 of n. The output, that is y3 of n is nothing but x3 times 4n plus 1. x3 times 4n plus 1. But what is this? x3 times 4n plus 1, which is nothing but a times x1 4n plus 1 plus, sorry, a1, we are writing a1 plus a2 x2 of 4n plus 1. And what is that? This is equals to a1 y1 n plus a2 y2 of n. From this above expression, we can clearly state that the system follows the additivity property as well as the homogeneity property. That's why the system follows the superposition principle. This states that the system is linear system. So the system is linear. Next property is your stability property. So when we call the system is to be stable, when we provide a bounded input, we must get the bounded output. Okay, then we are calling the system as bounded input, bounded output, stable system. So let us consider magnitude of x of n is less than infinity. Is less than infinity. That means it's bounded for all the values of n. For all n, fine. For all n, x of n is less than infinity. Now, what about y1, y of n? Magnitude of y of n is equals to magnitude of x of 4n plus 1. Magnitude of x of 4n plus 1. From it, if x of n is less than infinity, this implies y of n is also less than infinity. Y of n is also less than infinity. As our x of n, this is nothing but your shifted and scaled version of x of n. This is your shifted and scaled version of x of n. So it gives that y of n is also infinity. It does not have any variable. Okay, therefore we can say that the system is stable. The system is stable. Now, I hope you understand all these problems. 7 problems I have solved basically based on the linearity property, stability property, causality property, dynamicity, or you can say static properties also we have, invariant or invariant properties we have seen. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or you can solve many problems. Okay. Thank you.